10th CBSE Chemistry, Chapter Carbon and its Compounds. In this video, you're going to learn about ethanol and its properties, also its reaction with sodium and sulfuric acid. Now let's start with the properties of ethanol. Ethanol, which is also commonly called as ethyl alcohol, has the molecular formula C2H5OH, which can also be written as CH3CH2OH. Now let's check out the physical properties of this ethanol. Observe the liquid. Yes, this colorless liquid is ethanol. As you can see, it's written 95% of ethanol, which means that 95 ml of ethanol and 5 ml of water. That is the concentration of ethanol which has been written on it. Now let's check out the physical properties of this liquid. As we can see, it's a liquid which is colorless. When you taste it, it has a pleasant taste. Further, it's volatile and with a low boiling point of 78 degrees centigrade. Now let's see the chemical properties. Ethanol is soluble in water and is a covalent compound. Further, it's neutral and has no effect on litmus solution. We can understand this because it's a covalent compound, it doesn't give out ions, and when it doesn't give out ions, it's a neutral compound. So these are the physical and chemical properties of ethyl alcohol. Now let's check out the reaction of ethanol with sodium. Ethanol, which is an alcohol, reacts with sodium, giving out hydrogen gas, and a salt called sodium ethoxide. So let's write the equation for the same now. So sodium is reacting with ethyl alcohol, that is CH3CH2OH. So the reaction results in the formation of a salt which is called sodium ethoxide, which in turn has a formula CH3CH2O minus Na plus. Now you can see this is a salt which is formed, which is sodium ethoxide, and along with this we can see the liberation of hydrogen gas. Now this is the reaction of sodium with ethanol. Observe here, ethanol here is behaving like a acid, giving away a proton. As you can see, in the OH group, O is retained and O takes away both the pair of electrons, hence becomes negatively charged and gives away the proton, that is the hydrogen, and hence here it is acting like a acid, and the resulting product is a salt, sodium ethoxide. So alcohols react with the sodium, leading to the production of salt and hydrogen. So now let's balance the equation by adding half here, so that balances the equation completely. So now we understood that ethyl alcohol reacts with sodium to form sodium ethoxide and hydrogen gas. Now let's move on to the next reaction of ethyl alcohol with sulfuric acid. Let's write the reaction here. CH3CH2OH, which is nothing but ethyl alcohol, is reacted with sulfuric acid H2SO4 and heated. The resulting product will be ethene, which is CH2 double bond CH2, and water, which is H2O. When we heat ethanol at high temperature in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, it results in the formation of ethene and water molecule. So this is nothing but a dehydration reaction. As you can see, a water molecule has been removed from ethyl alcohol, and hence this reaction can also be called as dehydration reaction. The concentrated sulfuric acid is now acting as a dehydrating agent which removes water from ethanol. So we learned that when ethyl alcohol is heated with excess of concentrated sulfuric acid at 170 degrees centigrade, it gets dehydrated to form ethene, and this reaction can also be called as dehydration reaction. And here the dehydrating agent is sulfuric acid. So let's recall the important points. So the first reaction is the reaction with sodium, which produces sodium ethoxide and hydrogen gas. Recall that in this reaction, ethyl alcohol behaves like an acid, giving away a proton molecule. So the next is the reaction with sulfuric acid. So when ethyl alcohol is heated with excess of concentrated sulfuric acid at a high temperature of around 170 degrees centigrade, it gets dehydrated to form ethene. So in this video, you learned about ethanol and its properties and also its reaction with sodium and sulfuric acid.